Okay, here we go, guys. I'll be talking about bank PO exams and everything now, right now, right? Different types of banks and क्या कैसे होता है. So थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Before I tell you about exams, let's understand the structure of Indian banks. ठीक है? Now, mostly this structure we have divided because of the recruitment process. ठीक है, ये मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने ये पूरा स्ट्रक्चर बना के दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस बीइंग डिफरेंट. मैंने ये हम लोगों ने ये स्ट्रक्चर डिजाइन किया है. सो लेट अस सी. इन इंडिया देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ बैंक्स. In India, there are two types of banks. One is private sector and another is public sector. So basically, all those banks wherein there is some stake of government, they come under public sector banks, and then the second is private sector banks. So some of the examples like private sector banks, जैसे ICICI, SDFC वगैरह, right? Mind you, all banks are, see, let's not use the word nationalized. Basically, the important is private sector banks, the ownership is with private people. Public sector banks, there is some ownership for sure with government, right? So banks are divided in two categories, right? So private sector examples also I have given you. This the only reason of doing it is because the recruitment process, जो वो लोगों को जो hire करते हैं, that process is different, and that is the reason we are doing it. That's it. The private sector banks, the process of hiring is very clear. Whenever they have any requirement, they give notification in newspaper, right? Either normal notification or whatever requirements are there are published, and they take direct interview, right? So every bank could be different. There might be some banks taking aptitude test, some banks taking psychometric test, some banks taking just interview or mix of this. So private bank have a pure separate function of way of selecting people. Whereas public sector bank, all public sector bank, there is a process, right? The process is first an aptitude test, and then second group discussion, personal interview. It's compulsory. So all public sector banks take an aptitude test and group discussion and personal interview. GD means group discussion, personal interview, we already know. So this is the overall process of selection of public sector banks and selection by private sector banks. Right? Now let's move further. Let's talk of public sector banks. Now in public sector banks also there are two types. Now the reason of me giving you this thing, the why these are two types, let's understand this. As I told you again, this classification is not given by Government of India, nothing like that. We have classified it. Why? Because the selection criteria are different. How candidates are selected. That's it. One type of public sector bank is SBI, and another type of public sector banks is all others. All other banks. So what the SBI does is for recruitment, select बच्चों को select करने के लिए वो एक अपना खुद का एग्जाम लेते हैं क्लर्क का, and they take another exam of their own for probationary officer PO, right? As I've already told you, all public sector banks conduct an aptitude test and then GDPI. So State Bank of India conducts an aptitude test for clerk and an aptitude test for PO. Right? Now, if you look at 5-6 years back, what used to happen is now all these banks like Canara Bank, Dena Bank, Punjab National Bank, all these kind of banks used to conduct their own test. Yeah. So there's separate test for PNB, separate timing, days, paper. Basically, the curriculum was same, but paper pattern used to differ. So some bank will take it for 100 marks, some bank will take it for 200 marks. So it was chaotic, to be honest. But in last 5 odd years, what has happened is none of these banks take their own exam. All these banks have come together and they have given the contract to IBPS, Institute of Banking and Personnel Selection. Now, let us understand, see, IBPS is not a bank. Now, because this is extremely common, we come across a lot of students who come and say, "Sir, IBPS देके IBPS में जाना है." What is IBPS में जाना है यार? IBPS is a private organization. It's an institution which conducts same tests, clerk and PO, on behalf of around 19 odd banks. So IBPS is not a bank. Remember this, is just an institute which conducts the test on behalf of all those so many other banks. So, and yes, this is another thing, that in IBPS itself there is stake of those banks also, right? So they are founded by those banks, but we are not concerned about that. Our thing is IBPS is not a bank, and they also conduct 2 exams in a year. So can I say in 1 year there are 4 exams which happen? Mind you, remember this, aptitude test is what I'm talking about. I told all public sector banks take an aptitude test and GDPI. So right now what I'm talking here is all aptitude test. I've till now not told you about the curriculum, that I'll tell you. Right? So SBI conducts a test. SBI conducts a test for PO and clerk. Similarly, IBPS conducts 1 test for clerk and 1 test for PO. So there are 4 exams in a year. Now, to be honest, the specific dates are never mentioned, right? But months are more or less clear, like SBI happens, SBI PO happens April last week, SBI clerk happens July. So if you want, I will write it down also. SBI, so these are tentative days or months, right? Not never exact, but for last 4-5 years, this is what has been happening. So SBI PO is April, SBI clerk is July, and IBPS clerk and PO are between September to October. And this is the format. Right? Now, next point is their syllabus. Right? I'll tell you more about preliminary and mains, but that is a different thing, right? Now, what is the syllabus for SBI clerk? What is the syllabus for SBI PO? What is the syllabus for IBPS clerk? And what is the syllabus for IBPS PO? These are 4 different exams. Syllabus is same for all. No differentiation whatsoever. So let's understand what the syllabus is. It is quantitative techniques, which is nothing but maths. Now maths means ratio, proportion, percentage, time, speed and distance, and simple interest, compound interest, profit and loss. Now these are things which we have done in our 11th, 9th, 8th, 10th. Only the point is the level of question changes, and how we solve these questions also changes, because all these are MCQs. And in our 9th, 10th, we did not have MCQs. So the manner of solving question changes. That is more important. So remember that. Right? So quant maths is one thing. Second is verbal ability, which we call it as English. So it's like reading comprehension. There's a big passage ke upar, based on passage there will be 3-4 questions which all of us have done in class 9 and 10. Obviously the level changes, right? Number 3 is data interpretation. Right? So data interpretation, again in statistics, a lot of people must have done something like this, by bar chart, pie graph, something like this. Obviously the level of question changes, right? Number 4th is logical reasoning. This is something new for all of you guys, right? Logical reasoning we'll have to do, right? And there's number 5th also, which is computer knowledge, general awareness. But the marks for this specific topic, like computer knowledge and general awareness, is a little less. And secondly, to be honest, that is not scoring also, right? It is very difficult to score in those subjects, that subject specifically. But these are 4 subjects which are scoring. Now understand, is the same 4 subjects for SBI clerk, same 4 subjects for SBI PO, same 4 subjects for IBPS clerk and IBPS PO, but the difficulty level is different for all exams. I hope this is understood. Now let's talk on one more thing here. I've already told you that it is clerk and PO and other things. Now for all clerk, whether it is SBI clerk PO or whether it is IBPS clerk PO, right? For exams, for each exam there will be two exams now. Earlier it used to be only one exam and directly GDPI. Now what these people have done is there is something called preliminary exam, and then there is something called mains exam, and then there is GDPI. Now to be honest, it looks difficult now. It looks really difficult. Yeah, pehle preliminary, then mains, then GDPI. And if you don't clear, let's say you clear preliminary, you clear mains, and then you don't clear GDPI, you are back to preliminary next year. It's not like that, you will be able to directly appear for GDPI next year. No, you have to again sit for preliminary, again do mains, and again GDPI. Let's not be afraid, guys. Understand one thing. So I just now told you that whether it is clerk, PO, SBI or clerk, PO, IBPS, syllabus is same for all four exams. Now this is not four exams. Now this is 8 exams, because for SBI clerk there is preliminary main. For SBI PO also there is preliminary mains. Right? So there are a lot of exams it looks like. Don't worry. Preliminary is the easiest of all, and for preliminary also syllabus is same. Same quant, same logic, same DI, everything is same. So when we teach, let's understand, see, we are not going to teach you for only preliminary of SBI clerk. No, that's not possible. It cannot be done like that. So what we do is, we always teach you at this level. This is what we do. Let's understand. We teach you. So before I tell you how we teach, let's look at the difficulty level of all these examinations, right? So the easiest, I'll go from easiest to toughest. The easiest exam would be IBPS clerk, right? This exam normally happens in the month of September, October. The next, then a little difficult than this would be SBI clerk. A little difficult than this would be IBPS PO. A little difficult than this would be SBI PO. Now let's look at a few other exams. So I'm talking of difficulty level right now. And then obviously preliminary and mains. Exactly at this level you will have your MBA CET examination. So SBI PO difficulty level is equal to MBA CET level. Yes, in curriculum there is little difference, right? In MBA CET we have visual reasoning coming up, which is not a part of SBI PO. So that's a little difference, but difficulty level of all topics is same. Similarly, exactly at this level you have something called LIC. LIC also conducts its own exam. It is at IBPS PO level. Then comes your NMAT and SNAP. Now these are MBA entrance exam. Please understand, topic for NMAT and SNAP, which are MBA entrance exam, are also same. They are same. So what I'm discussing here is the difficulty level. Same topic, same subjects, difficulty level. Then comes your CAT, which is again an MBA entrance exam. And then comes your UPSC and MPSC. Right? Now why I've taken UPSC MPSC? Because there is one paper in UPSC MPSC which is CSAT, which has the same topics. Right? But then let's consider it differently. This is a different exam. Difficulty wise, it is the most difficult exam. And obviously just below that we have got our CAT. I'm not taking into consideration other MBA entrance exams like GMAT vagera, but they are not relevant for our talk today. Now, which means if you look at it properly, easier to difficult, your RRB, Railway Recruitment Board, your RBI also conducts an exam that is at this level. RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Railway Recruitment Board somewhere here, RRB ka exam. So the reason we are discussing this whole thing is because syllabus for all of them is same, but the difficulty level is different. Right? So to be honest, a lot of people think that, sir, if we have prepared for this, we should be able to appear for this also. You can never, because of the difficulty level. Right? So the way we prepare students, very simple, is we don't prepare you for only IBPS clerk or SBI clerk or only IBPS preliminary. We prepare students for this whole thing together. So when we talk of bank PO exams, we don't say it is only bank PO, it includes bank clerk exam also, and automatically it includes LIC and a few similar kind of exams. I hope this is clear, right? So our curriculum is designed in such a manner that all these exams are taken into consideration. Hope this is understood, right? Now, so all those people who prepare at this level can appear for all this exam. And when people prepare with us for this level, CAT, see, again the syllabus is same. So when you are preparing for CAT, all this becomes easy. And all other exams become easy. Right? Because the syllabus is same. So obviously number of hours, so let's say when I talk of number of hours of this, only the top part, it is a little less. Number of hours for CAT is definitely much more. That's how it goes. Right? Now when we prepare, that's the last point which we need to discuss. We don't even bother about preliminary. We don't even bother. Why? Because again, repeating the same thing, syllabus is same. We don't even bother. We directly prepare you for mains exam. So when you are preparing at mains level directly, the preliminary becomes very simple. Nothing really special. Right? And that is why the preparation is so important here. Right? Okay, a couple of things here. Your preliminary for all these, whether it is SBI, whether it is IBPS, please, I'm writing for both these PO and clerk. For all four exams basically. Preliminary is 100 marks, 1 hour. Preliminary is 100 marks, 1 hour. And mains is 200 marks, 2 hours. I hope you are able to understand this. All exams, SBI PO, SBI clerk, IBPS PO, IBPS clerk. Now we are not even going to bother about preliminary. We'll directly talk of mains only. We prepare you directly for mains. So the preliminary is supposed to be a cakewalk. Hope this is clear. This should be able to explain you or clear a lot of your doubts. Done? That's it? Yes, that's it guys. Thank you.